What's up guys, welcome back to another webinar. This time it's all about sleep. A lot of you guys will struggle with sleep, how to make it better, even falling asleep. So without waiting any longer, let's get into it. The first thing we're going to tackle is the importance of sleep. Now what we're going to talk about are the general reasons why sleep is important, and we're also going to talk about the hypertrophy specific reasons as to why these are important. There are many crossovers with sleep as to why it's important. Obviously, if you can improve your productivity and your concentration, you could say that that's going to help your mind-muscle connection when you're training. These are all going to cross over to reasons why sleep is so important for hypertrophy. But apart from that, if that's not enough of a reason for you to want to improve your sleep, which it should be, there are many reasons why sleep is important when we're training. Now, if you're trying to build muscle, you don't grow whilst you're training. You cause a damage whilst you're training, which is then going to allow you to grow if you have sufficient protein, sufficient rest, and sufficient calories. If you're not allowing yourself to get quite a deep sleep, or you're not allowing yourself to sleep, you're missing out on these key parts for you to be able to start growing. We know why sleep is important now. We know the general reasons why sleep is important, and we also know the hypertrophy specific reasons why sleep is really important. But here is a few reasons why sleep is so important with regards to the health risks involved with the lack of sleep. With the lack of sleep, there is an increase in obesity, with an increased risk of obesity, Diabetes and impaired glucose tolerance is also another risk with lack of sleep. Cardiovascular morbidity. Adverse effects on mood and behavior. Adults with chronic sleep loss report excess mental distress, depressive symptoms, and anxiety. Now, if you're anything like me, when I don't get enough sleep, or if I'm not well rested, I become quite snappy. If you continue to have these days of just leave me to it, where you have very, very minimal sleep, these are going to start having an onboard effect, or an ongoing effect rather, on the relationships you build with people around you and so on. So you can start to see why sleep is so important, not just for the physical ramifications it has, but for the mental ramifications it has, for the environmental ramifications it has. And when I say environmental, I mean the people you have around you. Also, it has been shown, and I was surprised at this, it has been shown to increase the risk of alcohol abuse. And finally, there is also an increased risk of disease mortality. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, and these are just some of the health risks associated. Now, these don't happen overnight with a click of the finger. These take time. And not only that, but other things have to be in place as well. So you're looking at poor nutrition, poor exercise regime, other things like that, increased stress with what you're doing in your day-to-day life. These will also have an effect. Tracking your sleep is person dependent. Now what I mean by that is, if it helps improve your sleep, go for it. Now it can help you sleep if you're sleeping too much or too little, and yes, there is such a thing as too much sleep. It can help you realize that there are some lifestyle changes that you need to make in order for you to get better sleep. Trackers offer a lower cost alternative to tracking sleep in healthy populations. If you want sleeping well, there's a good chance that may be due to nutrition, maybe due to exercise, something like that. So all these things intertwine, right? So we touched slightly on why sleep is important for you. And we know from Brad Schoenfeld and his numerous studies, and is also in his book Science and Development of Muscular Hypertrophy, which if you are interested in muscle building at all, I would 100% recommend you get it. But sleep clearly plays an overall role in muscle development. Okay, and now we're specifically in this slide talking about building muscle, nothing else. Although scientific evidence suggests humans have 7 to 9 hours sleep per night, anecdotal evidence has shown humans can thrive off of a wider range of durations. So it doesn't have to be pigeonholed into that. I mean, I know a lot of people who work a rotation of shifts, and their shift patterns are so all over the place. But if they can get a decent 5 hours sleep per night, yes, as little as 5 hours, they're okay. I personally would struggle with that, but they're okay. And this, even though the scientific evidence suggests 7 to 9 hours, there is anecdotal evidence. There is a personal preference involved. Best recommendations for sleep and hypertrophy. Gauge sleep based on how you're feeling during training. So look at your perceptions of fatigue and lethargy. These factors could indicate related issues and interfere with your results. Okay, so the common issues with sleep. Now, I've boiled it down to two. There is getting to sleep, and these are a couple of things you can do in order for you to help try and get yourself to sleep. There's also issues with staying asleep. Okay, so recommendations. 7 to 9 hours per night is the usual recommendations. However, like I said before, you may feel better or less with more sleep than what is recommended. Focus on bettering your sleep environment, and remember, the 7 to 9 hours per night is just a recommendation. It's going to take a lot of trial and error for you to see whereabouts you need to be, what ballpark you're in with regards to how much sleep you need per night. And finally, guys, last thoughts. Sleep matters more than you think. Like anything, look at what you can work on and focus on one thing at a time. So instead of thinking, oh God, I got to do all these things to try and improve my sleep, first look at environment, okay? Then you can look at your ritual, or you can look at ritual first and then environment. There's no right or wrong way to do this. The end goal is to have more than enough sleep, okay? It will take consistency, like building muscle, like losing body fat. It's going to take time for your body to get adjusted to it. Just like falling takes time, so does getting better at it. Got the references here for you guys and how to find me. Now, a lot of you guys know my material already. A lot of you guys know where to find me already. But if you're new to my channel, here you go. There's a description below with all my information there, all the links in there for you to contact me if you need any help. Until next time, see you later.